Sorry, forgot the microphone. But anyway, as I was saying, uh, YouTube and Facebook for some reason dropped me mid broadcast, so I'm redoing it. I don't know if it's a problem with their servers, if Xfinity's having a problem with internet in my area or not. I haven't received any notifications, but we're going to try this again. So good evening and welcome to the Rant Reloaded. What I want to talk to you about tonight is a war that's currently going on here on American soil, and it's not a war of with guns and ammo and all that explosives. It's a political battle that it seems only the Democrats are fighting. So let me get into that now. How many times have we heard in the past socialist communist countries using law enforcement to take down and even eliminate political opponents? Cuba, Russia, China, all have done it, but I can't recall a time in America where the Justice Department was used to attack and even silence political adversaries until now, or at least until recently. Does anyone find it oddly convenient that just at the start of the primaries for the 2024 elections that multiple courts are going after Donald Trump, knowing he plans on running in the 2024 elections for office of president? First, the case in Manhattan, where the overzealous Democratic DA has taken what is normally a misdemeanor charge of falsifying business records and used loopholes in the law to inflate them to felony levels. Now, that trial does seem to have lost its momentum because I've looked, I can't find a whole lot of it on the news. I can't find anything online as to how that trial is progressing. But now we find our former president in federal court in hearings concerning the alleged classified documents found at Mar-a-Lago. Again, just in time to prevent Donald Trump from being able to enter the primaries in 2024. But where are the investigations and hearings into Joe Biden for his possession of classified documents, which he did not have authorization to be in possession of, or even his acts of blatant, flat-out, obvious treason against the United States involving his son Hunter Biden, and Joe using his political position to affect political policy and grant political favors in return for overlooking certain crimes done by Hunter Biden, and giving these favors to foreign entities that are frankly enemies of the United States. Countries like China, countries like Russia. Granted, Ukraine is considered one of our tentative allies, but they're technically they're not part of NATO, so they're not technically an ally. They're not an enemy, but they're not an ally. Yet Joe's sinking a bunch of money into their country. Personally, I think basically what he's doing is laundering money through their countries. In other words, he's giving Ukraine all this equipment, all this money, and then in return, they're giving him kickbacks under the table, thus laundering dirty money. That's what it looks like to me, anyway. I mean, they're looking. Allegedly, his finances are being looked into, or at least Hunter's are being looked into. So Joe has to launder the money somehow to make it look legit. But anyway, he's doing all this, and shouldn't he at least be facing impeachment at this point in time? Now, I've heard the excuses. We can't do an impeachment because after the Democrats attempted an impeachment of Trump during his presidency, it looks like nothing more than political payback and a whole tit-for-tat type thing. My opinion? Who the hell cares what it looks like? See, that's our whole problem as Republicans. And don't get me wrong, I do love the Republican Party. I've been a registered Republican since I was old enough to vote 34 years ago. Now, do I agree with everything on the Republican platform? Honestly, no, I don't. And over the years, there have been things done by Republicans that I felt were just plain wrong. But the Republican ideology aligns more with my own than the Democratic ideology ever will. So I will continue to stay firmly in the Republican camp, but I'm not afraid to voice my opinions, whether it be about Republicans or Democrats, if I disagree with what they're doing. But I'm digressing here. The issue I do have with the Republicans at this point is the lack of resolve and backbone our representatives and candidates seem to be showing. Instead, they seem to be showing themselves as a bunch of cowards, more concerned with optics and not causing waves, in order to maintain their precious optics and look good as long as their poll numbers are higher than their opponents. Hell, Republican candidates are even quick to attack their own party members before attacking the party of opposition. It's time the Republican Party got their heads out of their asses, quit trying to throw all these people into the primaries to split votes, and just work together for the one objective of getting this woke Democratic bullshit out of our offices. Now, I'm not naive. I've been around long enough to see how optics can play out in the political arena. But while the Republicans are trying to be the bigger man and play nice, we're losing ground because the Democratic Party is not playing. Their candidates are fighting an all-out war using every dirty trick in the book, from intimidating voters by trying to find ways to place conservatives and Republicans on domestic terrorist watch lists, as we saw when the FBI were encouraged to label parents speaking out against school board policies and practices as domestic terrorists, and now labeling conservative Christian groups and conservative groups in general as right-wing extremists and placing them on that same list. And honestly, it appears to be an effective practice because, let's be honest, no patriotic American that loves this country wants to be clumped into any category that puts the same label on them as we put on organizations such as BLM, Antifa, and even the Taliban. Democrats constantly abuse loopholes in the election laws, not only to manipulate votes, but to flat out cheat, with ballot tabulation machines breaking down, more likely being sabotaged before the election, unverified votes suddenly appearing out of thin air, dead people who are still on the rolls, and strangely, even though they're deceased, they're able to cast votes. And of course, what I started with in this segment being the weaponization of the DOJ. If the Democratic Party is engaging in outright warfare against us, then doesn't it seem that we should meet them at their level? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying stoop to their level and cheat or weaponize federal law enforcement agencies, but we do need to approach the 2024 elections in a different manner. We need to approach them with the same mindset that this is not playground politics, this is war. And we need to fight like our lives and our freedom depend on it, because at this point, if we fail, America and all it stands for is indeed lost. All who have given their lives since our founding in service to our nation will have done so in vain. And hey, they will have died for nothing. Can we allow that? It's bad enough that our current government has allowed LGBTQ alphabet soup whatever to overshadow Memorial Day, which was meant to honor those who have given their lives in service to this country. But instead, they want to do this Pride Month bullshit with the current administration placing pride flags at federal facilities and flying them over the American flag, the POW, MIA, and veteran flag. flags that are meant to honor the true heroes of this nation, which is those who laid down their lives for us. But that's taking me off into a whole new topic. So honestly, with Independence Day right around the corner, I'll save that rant for next Saturday. So that'll be next Saturday at 6 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, um, where I will be discussing who the true heroes of this nation are versus what the woke administration wants us to call our heroes. And honestly, before I get into that topic, before next week rolls around, I'd love to hear your comments on the subject. Who do you view as our heroes? Uh, is it those who have put their lives on the line for this country, or is it those who perpetrate the false narrative of, oh, he's a woman, he's a biological man coming out as a woman, he's so brave, he's a hero, which I think is bullshit? Or is it those who uh, covered up the true things behind the COVID and called our rescue workers who were instructed to inflate COVID numbers? Are they the heroes? I want to hear your comments on who the true heroes in this nation are and what you think of the woke heroes in this nation. So please hit like, hit follow, hit subscribe, leave your comments, and let me know what you think so I can have some fuel to work with coming up on next week's show. Anyway, that's my time for today. I've ran a little bit over, but that's okay. Um, Again, please click the like, follow, subscribe buttons, leave your comments, and we will see you again next Saturday at 6 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Until then, this is Mario Colangelo with the Rant Reloaded saying if today's political climate isn't pissing you off, my friends, you're not paying attention because you should be pissed off. I'm furious about it right now. Anyway, with that, I will bid you a good night and God bless. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you next Saturday.